Have you ever stopped and asked yourself, who would I be if I didn't have to survive? Not who you had to become, not who pain shaped, not who trauma trained, but who you actually are. Because for many people, survival mode did not just become a season, it became their personality. Welcome back to the channel where truth is spoken, healing is honored, and growth is the mission. Welcome to Family Focused, the Healing the Roots movement. Before we begin, let me make something very clear. This conversation, along with my other videos that I've done, is not about encouraging victim mentality. There's a major difference between being a victim, meaning harmful things genuinely happened to you, playing victim, meaning using your pain as a permanent excuse to avoid responsibility, healing, or growth. This message is not about staying stuck in blame. This message is about awareness, because you cannot heal what you refuse to acknowledge. And many people are not playing victim. They're adults still operating from survival patterns that were built when they actually were vulnerable. This is about understanding how survival responses formed so you can reclaim the power to choose differently. For some of us, survival mode started early. We didn't even know we were surviving. It looked like being overly quiet, people pleasing, hyper independence, overthinking, fear of rejection, difficulty resting, struggling to trust, always preparing for disappointment, feeling guilty for having needs, believing love must be earned. And because these patterns kept us emotionally, mentally, or physically safe, we didn't recognize them as trauma responses. We called them just who I am. I'm just independent. I'm just guarded. I'm just a hard worker. I'm just not emotional. I'm just anxious. I'm just used to doing things alone. But often, that wasn't personality. That was adaptation. Your personality should be shaped by identity, but survival mode often shapes behavior through fear. Meaning, you may not actually be cold. You learned emotional distance. You may not actually prefer isolation. You learned connection was dangerous. You may not actually love overworking, but you learned your worth was tied to performance. You may not actually struggle with receiving. You learned needing help was unsafe. Do you understand how powerful that is? Many of us have spent years defending trauma responses as personality traits. When you grow up in environments where love is inconsistent, safety is uncertain, support is absent, your voice is dismissed. You do not develop from freedom, you develop from protection. And the protection changes you. You become more alert than peaceful, more useful than authentic, more obedient than expressive, more prepared than present. Eventually, you stop asking, what do I want? And start asking, what keeps me safe? That is survival mode. The danger is when survival becomes your identity, you will defend patterns that are actively harming you. You will call burnout ambition. You will call fear wisdom. You will call self abandonment love. You will call hypervigilance responsibility. And because these behaviors helped you survive, letting them go can feel terrifying. Because healing can feel like losing yourself, when in reality, healing is often the first time you meet yourself. The real transformation begins when you realize your survival self is not your full identity. It was a version of you built to endure. But survival is not supposed to be your permanent address. You were meant to live, to thrive, to create, to rest, even God did, to choose, and to become. So now the question becomes, who are you? Without fear running the system. Who are you? Without trauma making decisions. Who are you? Without constantly bracing for pain. Because that person The real you may still be underneath all the programming, waiting. Survival mode may have shaped your personality, but it does not have to define your future. Awareness gives you back your power, and once you can identify the programming, you can begin rewriting it. If this message hit home, it's not because you are broken, it's because you are waking up. And healing begins where awareness starts. If this helped you, like, share, and subscribe. And let's keep healing, one truth at a time. Healing the nation, one child at a time. And before I go, let me say hello to my now 466 subscribers. And to those of you who engage with my content, thank you. And also, my book recommendations for today are The Body Keeps the Score by Bessel van der Kolk and Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl. And last but by no means least, Adult Children of Emotionally Immature Parents by Lindsay C. Gibson. See you on the next video.